We welcome you back to Longhorn Weekly, Spring Sport Edition, and that includes spring football. And our thanks to Longhorns head coach Charlie Strong joining us. And continuing on this theme of spring football, Longhorns redshirting senior Dom Espinosa, who joins us now to talk about this. He mentioned you by name and mentioned several other guys by name with regard to spring practice. So how was this spring? Because I'm sure fans want to know, how is it different than, say, in the past, not only for you but for your teammates?
Yeah, I think the difference right now is just, we're kind of getting used to the coaches. They're getting used to us, so we're kind of learning their coaching styles. And obviously there's new terminology with the playbook, so things like that. So there's a lot of learning adjustments we're having to make right now in the spring. But I think it's been going great. I think it's physical. I think the guys are getting after it, and I think we're making the most of it, and we're really looking forward to the spring game Saturday.
Dom, is it one of those deals when quarterbacks, when we think about changes in terminology with a new offensive coordinator, we think of quarterbacks, wide receivers, running backs, skill position guys, and once more the guys there in the trenches are kind of the afterthought, but there's also the adjustment that you guys have to make with Coach Wickline and Coach Watson coming in. How different was it for you in terms of adjusting to the terminology of the things they wanted you to do?
Yeah, it's really just a memory deal. Because the plays are not much different. We're running zone, we're running power plays, similar protection schemes. But other than that, it's really just remembering how the play's called and things like that. So it's really once you rep it enough times and you walk through it enough and see it on film and write it down over and over again, it becomes second nature. So I don't think it hasn't been too bad of an adjustment. But I think anyone who's played enough ball or been had good coaches in high school, it's going to come easy to them.
Having gone through 4 of these springs, what has it gotten to the point for you where you looked forward to it? You look forward to spring practice. You look forward to getting out there. It sounds silly because a lot of guys say I never look forward to practice, but I know all competitors look forward to being better football players.
Yeah, I think your mentality changes as you get older, for sure. I think at a younger age, when you're new and it's kind of tough for you, you might be going against some bigger guys, and you might be getting yelled at a little more. It could be tough, and you kind of want to get it over with. But yeah, I think as you get older and you realize what you want at the end of the day, it could be a championship. Some of these guys want to go to the NFL, things like that. Practices are a big deal, and you want every day get better at something. So yeah, especially at this point in time in my career, and knowing where we want to be, I got to take practice very seriously and want to make the most of it every time we're out there.
You had to come a long way, obviously, from early injuries in your career to where you are now, being a reliable, steady, dependable performer on the offensive line. When you look back at that, does it kind of, surprise you? Or what strikes you about the road you've taken from where you were back then as a freshman when you came in and what you had to deal with to where you are now?
Yeah, I think it was fast. And I think after those injuries and coming and playing right away after those injuries, and then really some of those games we won, and even like the A&M game, I don't think I've really even let that sink in yet, how big a game that was. And some situations like that I haven't really even let really sink into me yet. But yeah, it happened fast, and now I'm here as a 5th year. It's kind of crazy. So it goes by fast. So, that's why I say to all these young guys, make the most of it, because it really goes by fast. And 5 years for me went by faster. It seems like it's only been 3 or 2, but it's crazy.
Centers are often asked for their opinion on the quarterbacks because you're getting the football to them to start. By all the accounts, David Ash had an outstanding spring before the foot injury, and I know there was a lot of concern because he was coming off the concussion, how he would be. Before the foot injury got the better of him and he had to step aside, tell folks a little bit about the type of spring that David was having.
He's having a great one. I think it was important for him just because, coming off a head injury like that, you want to be able to come out there and feel comfortable and, do things right and be throwing the ball and, run the ball like he did beforehand. So I think it was big for him to have a spring like he had. And I know just talking to him on the sideline, he's a confident guy. And I know he was confident after a lot of those practices and he was feeling good. And little comments he made to me, reminded me of the same old David he was. So I'm excited to see where he's at, and I know he'll come back, healthy and faster than a lot of people would from this injury.
All right, so David had to shut it down from there. Now, because you'll have another teammate coming in at quarterback for the fall in Gerard Hurd. Tyrone Swoops is there, and he's had a lot more work obviously put on him, especially of late. Tell folks a little bit about the spring Tyrone's had.
Oh, he's having a great one too. It's crazy to see where he's gone from last season, and kind of that role he was kind of unsure of the offense maybe a little bit. Now it's one of those deals where he's kind of taking charge and actually running the deal. So it's great to see him doing things just like David was doing. And I think both those guys competing like that is what we need as a team. And I think every position needs that, especially quarterback. If we're going to have good quarterback play, we need to have that competition at all those guys every day and, fight for that position. So I think it's great seeing what both those guys are doing right now.
I asked you about your own road, so it's probably pretty easy for you to relate to the strides that a guy has to make from his freshman to a sophomore year and going forward. Is it understanding everything that they've got to assimilate and everything they've got to get used to?
Yeah, I mean, let's say like Tyrone, for example. I think that change from just even last season till now, maybe it was a summer, maybe it was a spring, whatever it could have been, has helped him a lot in a lot of areas. Physically in the weight room, putting up big numbers, or mentally in the film room. I think that's helped him out, and it's all showing on the field right now. So I think, like you're saying, yeah, that every year I think there's going to be something about your game that you're going to be perfecting a little more, and obviously it's showing, and I think that's how a lot of these guys on our team are going to be this next coming year.
Do your guys, your teammates, they really look forward to the spring game itself, A, because it's the end of spring practice, and B, because it's a chance to get out there in your stadium in front of a crowd?
Yeah, I think it's a mixture of both those things. I think a good amount of it's coming to end, and all this hard work is finally done. You're going to have a little bit of relaxed time and get to home and see your family. So that's a part of it. But obviously, yeah, anytime you get to go out and play in the stadium and in front of your home crowd, and everyone's going to be there, mom, dad, a lot of these guys who, or some of our early enrollees, they're going to be the first time out there. So it's a big day for a lot of guys. So I think I'm excited. I know these young guys are, so we're looking forward to Saturday.
You have transitioned into this leadership role with the team. So what do you say to the younger guys about what to expect when they go out there on Saturday?
Yeah, make the most of it. Take it all in. Look around for a minute. Just don't worry about the game. Look around, look at the environment, look at the fans, and I really appreciate where you're at, because it's a big deal, and I'm grateful to be where I'm at. And I want these guys to be too.